Here's 5 tips for the new Lord of the Rings game, Return to Moria. Of course, there's no wrong way to play the game, but if you aren't doing the following 5 things, it's only because you don't know about them. So here's 5 tips for the game in under 5 minutes. If any of these are useful for you, I'm gonna need you to dig on into that like button. This first tip is incredibly useful from the point when you enter the Elven embassy onward. You'll see these human goblin camps all over the place. Now, their lore in the game is super sad. They've traveled from down south where they were in Saruman's army, and every human settlement that they've tried to establish themselves in has exiled them. However, that doesn't excuse the fact that they're constantly trying to fucking kill you, so chop their heads off when you see them. That's not the tip, that's just plain obvious. The tip is actually related to the center icon in each of the camps. You'll want to destroy it and get the Orcish key because their chests have amazing loot in them. You can find these camps even deeper in the game as well too. Now, my second tip has to do with the weird mechanic in the game called despair. Now, I don't wholly understand how despair works. It's a complicated mechanic having to do with how tired you are, how exhausted you are, and how long it's been since you've seen sunlight. I swear, one time I looked at some type of demon beast and my character just felt despair. It'll kill you slowly over time, so don't let it. Put down some torches. Not only do they provide light, but they also serve the same purpose as in Minecraft, where you can use them to path your way back to places that you know. And if you play with friends, you'll have that one person that's just way too greedy and can't give up resources and stays out just way too late and starts suffering from despair themselves. I'm looking at you, Doug. Tip 3 is a funny one. Don't press E when you die. Now, I don't just mean because you're playing with friends or whatever and they can pick you up. So hear me out on this one. Originally, I was going to do something with putting down hearths to build ladders, but while I was playing around to see if I could put one down to bypass needing to build the crystal elevator, I got a little tempted by the ladder platforms that were down below and wanted to see if I could jump from one to the other to get down. Now, me and my friends worked hard to gather this gear, and I didn't really want to spend the time in this temporary world that I was playing in to rebuild everything, to then find the black diamonds to go down and get my body that had all my black diamonds on me. So instead, before I pressed E and actually offed myself, I just left the game. And then you can load up any other world and you'll populate it with everything in your inventory still. It's great. Now, if you don't really consider that a good tip, here, I'll throw a bonus one in for you. Honor your dwarven dead. And once you've honored enough of them, you'll be able to put down a statue that will let you honor the ancestors. This will give you a buff that will let your stamina go a lot farther, which is critical in this game. And you can use that extra stamina to hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it so much. But let's move on to that 4th tip. Pick up every single one of those gold coins that you see. And if you see a troll, take it down because it is hoarding piles of gold. And if you've seen one of these troll caves, you figured out you can admire these piles and oh, are they beautiful. Once you get enough of your own gold coins, you can place a gold pile on the floor of your base and encrust it with all of your gems. Now, this has a practical use as well too, other than just an odd flex, because if you admire this pile of gold, you can give yourself a gold frenzy ability. Now, depending on how many gems, what type of gems, and how big your pile is, you will do more damage to any orc or goblin or troll that you come across. This buff is critical when fighting the Watcher in the water or going deep into the depths. The 5th but not final tip that I have to offer you is probably the best mining tip that I have in the game. And no, it's not singing while you mine, although that is a perfect tip. The tip is actually to make sure that you eat every morning, noon, and night, because being well fed is another perk that you can get in the game that will decrease your stamina depletion. And the better fed that you are, the better tier of the perk you have. So even though you're not a hobbit, it might be worth having second breakfast. Thank you so much for watching. Here are some videos of mine, and one of them YouTube picked for you. I don't know which one it is. See if you can figure it out.